Behind every strong pastor, there's often an unsung hero, sometimes unseen, many times unspoken, and often unbearable. They walk the fine line between faith and fragility. On today's episode of Stories, we highlight the life of a pastor's wife, the complex dance of faith, duty, and sacrifice. Welcome to Stories.
Hi guys, I should be giving you a special welcome to another episode of Stories. I know it's been long you've seen me on your screen, personally anchoring stories, and meanwhile, we've been having amazing episodes of Story, and this is yet another very, very serious episode of Story. I have with me here all the way from Houston, Texas. This is God's Delight. Good to see you.
Thank you, Apostle. Good to see you, sir.
Yeah. So this story is actually a very intense one. And this is one that is, all stories we've shared are very close to our hearts. This is much more closer. So you want to sit up and be ready for some amazing conversations today. And one of the things I personally love about stories is the fact that, you can practically mirror yourself while listening to the journey of another person and have the understanding that you're not alone. One of the areas that devil fight our minds is to give us the assumption that whatever it is we're going through is unique to us. But as you hear the story of other people and seeing the things they've survived and the things they've come through, something tells you in your heart that, come on, you can survive the same thing. You can go through what you're going and come out flying. So as always, I'd like my guests to just hit the ground running from the most convenient spot, sharing your own story.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Apostle.
you.
I appreciate the great privilege to be
Thank you.
on the program. I used to watch on the other end, and now being on the stage.
Now we are here. Yeah.
And I've looked forward to this day and look
Wow.
forward to the day that I'll be able to be bold enough and audacious enough to speak my story, my pain, my struggle, the trauma that I went through as a person. It's not about anyone else. It's about me, myself. And when I look at it, I would start from it being a young girl, had been through different struggle as a young girl that kind of shaped my mindset to some things that I'm now unlearning and deliberately teaching my children that it's okay to, for you to want more out of life.
Wow.
It's okay for you to reach for the stars, to reach for any height. It doesn't matter your gender. You can do it. Just don't listen to voices that try to bring you down based on either gender, background, culture. It is irrelevant. The most important thing is you're a child of God and the sky is your starting point. So I want to say this. I'm from the other religion. So I gave my life to Christ as a teenager. And the understanding that I had when I gave my life to Christ is once you give your life to Christ, everything is all right. And whoever is the other person, if they give their life to Christ, every believer is sane. Every believer does not have the capability to hurt another believer because we have a
That was
Father.
your assumption.
Yes, that was an assumption.
Yep.
I got to learn that as I grow in my Christian faith that no, the background for everything is it's not just being a believer. You have to align in so many different values. So I'm going to talk as my journey as a former pastor's wife.
Now that's a very big thing to say. You are a former pastor's wife.
Yes, sir.
Is the pastor still a pastor?
Yes, sir.
That statement means that you're not together anymore.
Yes, sir.
That's quite chilling.
It's not about him or to point accusing fingers to anyone. It's about me to talk about lesson I learned what I would have done differently if I knew better.
Hmm.
So, and I'm sure he also would have something that he would have done differently if we had the knowledge. Yes. So it's about what God took me through.
Yes.
What I have to face and stand for what I believe in, even though it was not the usual.
Yes.
And so thank God that he saw me through.
Wow.
And now see how families, especially parents, have to be intentional, training, bringing up their children. Because some of those things that I'll say that some of the pain that I bore was because of how I was raised. I was raised, it's okay to take all of those. It's okay as a female, as a wife, you have to take a lot of pain. There will be adage like, Alela yo obìnrin.
That is, a woman is not supposed to be happy until later in life.
Yes, when she's reaping the fruit of her children.
That's an adage. People do say that?
Yes.
Really?
Oh, yes. That Alela yo obìnrin. So that means as a woman being in marriage, if you are not joyful, it's okay.
You carried that in your mind.
Yes.
So what happened?
So, this standard that we have to conform to, like you have to be in certain way. You have to condone a lot of things from the man because they're the man. So when I was supposed to speak up and like, no, this I don't like, this I don't want.
Yes.
I will take it in. Like, I have to take it. I have to take it. The man is right. I have to take it. And the saying that building up a home is the sole responsibility of a woman.
Is it?
No, it's not, sir.
It's not.
It's not. It takes two people to be deliberate and want something to work.
Yes.
So all of the burden, so I found myself like, I will shift, move like, I will shift. I kept like till the point where I now had so much pain inside of me that any little thing would just trigger me.
You accumulated so many things.
So
till you became bitter?
Yes, I'm very hungry.
You are admitting that at some point you became bitter.
Oh yes, I was.
Wow.
I was because I now saw every little thing will trip me off the edge.
Can you run us through, because this is so important.
Yes.
I love this conversation. First is the fact that women are taught, particularly African women, to absorb more than what an average human should absorb. The second part is the mystery around pastors' wives. It is a role that automatically puts the woman in a place where you have to be quiet about many things. One, protecting the man. The second part is that's what a pastor's wife should do. So this is a very delicate conversation. Can you run us through some of the intricacies?
Okay.
Some of the things that you ought not to have taken that you took?
So I would like to start from the background, like what attracted me to him. Yes. It was from what he loves God a lot. It will serve God with everything inside of him.
Yes.
It will sacrifice anything.
Yes.
So meet up with church people, church demand.
Yes.
And he's joyful doing that. And I'll say that was what attracted me to him in the first place. That, oh, this person loves God. And don't forget, when I became a Christian, the notion I have in my head is if anyone loves God and serve God, serve God to this extent,
yes,
they will know how to treat a fellow God person, a fellow daughter of Zion. Yes, you understand. So that was my understanding. So I just like, oh, he's a good Christian. He does this. Oh, we'll go. Our dates will be vigil in church.
Sorry, come again.
So like when you say you're dating and you want to go out for dates, we go for vigil in church. Okay. You understand? So those are kind of, so I'm like,
Are you saying from your experience that a man is very active in church and is all over the place? It's not enough.
It's not enough. It's not enough. Because a very active person might want a very quiet and domicile wife. I am not that kind of person. I'm also very active. I like to, when I'm in a place, I like to do things, I like to serve. So if the very active man wants someone that is very laid back,
Yes.
and you that you are not very laid back, you now sit there like, oh, this person.
Laid back is a strong word. Should we use the word, maybe an extrovert will prefer an introvert?
No, laid back is right.
That's the word you want to use.
Yes,
I
sir.
want to be sure it's your word.
Yes, sir. Laid back is, yes, it is. You don't talk too much when you're outside, even if you have an opinion like that, because you
How
have
about
to
the
conform.
exposure part? One who is not so exposed, one who is just there and can, just do the instructions.
Oh, wait, maybe that will fit also. Maybe someone that is not very exposed, but it will get to you.
Please get into it.
Anyway, so we married as it was a bro, not a pastor. But the way his depth of commitment, I could see
Okay, was a brother
at that time.
Okay, yeah.
Or a minister, let's say.
Okay.
But not a pastor. I could see, but in my mind, I don't want to marry a pastor. So in my mind, oh, he's not a pastor, he's just a very... So, yes, then we traveled out of the country. Then we come in and out every year. We meet in the country, outside of the country. But eventually, by the time I was returning home, he was a full-fledged pastor, heading a zone at that time. So we had our challenges outside before he became a pastor, but it just helped to now expand it. So when I came back home and I had to conform to a particular shape of a particular way a pastor's wife has to be.
Yes.
The first was dressing. Oh, you can't wear pants.
For Nigerians to understand that, that's trousers.
Yes, that's trouser pants. That I can wear that. Him that I knew before that, he didn't mind those things.
Yes.
As in, he didn't mind dress. He likes it to look very good. You understand? So when I now came and wearing, and now you're a pastor's wife, you can wear, okay. So it took me a while to adjust. Then the fact of church members, when they look at me, Pastor, your wife is so young, oh. The way they look at you like there's an image that the church people want the pastor's wife to look at that is different from who you are.
I get you perfectly.
Then there is a part of a responsibility that wants to be laid on you as being a pastor's wife that you are not even ready for, or you don't even want to.
Examples.
So you have to serve in a particular unit. You have to do some particular duties.
Yes.
You have to dress in a particular way. You have to associate with a particular set of people. And some set of people, you have to carry yourself in such a way so that you don't look like you are bringing yourself low. So there are some people that when you associate with them, it's like, don't you know you're a pastor's wife? You shouldn't be
associating with those people.
Yeah. These were people that I knew when I was young. Those are friendships that I've had for a long time. My being a pastor's wife, those don't have to
take
now
away your
make
humanity.
Me not to talk to people. Oh, this kind of unit I have to serve in. I like to serve in the sanctuary unit. Yes, sanitation. And don't you know you're a pastor's wife? So you want to be sweeping, everybody will be looking at you. I'm like,
are you serious?
I like to wear a dress.
I was almost going to ask a question, and that question could bring trouble. So, those were unspoken rules.
Exactly.
But there were expectations from the people.
Expectation. And at that time, some of these expectations were even unrealistic for me, because at that time, we just relocated back home to Nigeria, and my children were younger.
Yes.
So, and I like to be a career person. Yes. I like to be out. I like the ministry. I like to serve God. I've
Yes.
always served God. And I used to tell him that if I didn't know God
Yes.
before I knew him, I
Yes.
would have thought that the Christianity was a lie, that it is not what it says. But because I've known God, when I gave my life to Christ, the church I was going to, they taught us the word. So I know some of these words. So when it's like I have to conform, I'm like, no, that's not the way I'm taught. Anyway, and I'm passionate about people. I like welfare. I like to take care of other people. But it got to a stage where the need of the church people was put above
The need at home.
the need at home. And the funniest thing is, I like to smile a lot. I'll still appear in church smiling.
Smile.
And sometimes I might have just cried. And sometimes it's as bad as, sometimes there might not be food in the house.
Are you serious?
Yes. And because I like hospitality, I still have people that sometimes on the midweek day
Yes.
that would still love to host and give food to.
So that brings me to a question, and that's just going to be by the way. And of course, no name is going to be mentioned, both of ministry and people. Or was it that your husband then wasn't being paid enough for the house to be taken care of?
Oh no, he wasn't a full-time pastor. He was a part-time pastor and he was doing well. No.
So how did you get to the point that there was no food at home?
Because, you know, when somebody just neglects that part, that
Yes.
you're going to be all right. And when there is no food, I've always bring out things that I would do to make sure there is food.
Yes.
Up until like, I will sell pap. And it's not as if I love pap, not, but I'll look at how can I make money? What can I do that I would at least do things, you understand? And I love taking pap, so I started selling pap. Then I like...
You once sold pap. It sounds unbelievable.
Oh yes, I love that.
No,
not like that. The tush kind of. So I will make the pap. I would package it such a way, and I will use some. Oh, it has this. Put some, and I will sell it with my mouth. And it's really good.
And by the way, if there's anyone watching this who is selling pap, it's a good also.
Yes, I still sell pap right now.
You still sell pap?
Yes.
In Houston here?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Amazing. All right.
Okay. So I try to do everything I can lay my hands on
Yes.
to get by, because I discovered that if we have to talk about money, it becomes an issue. So I don't want it to seem like money. When I say background, I grew up seeing my mom depending on my stepdad for a lot financially. And in my mind as a girl,
Yes.
I'd vow that I would never get to a point where I would depend. So from a very young age, I did things like, and I studied.
Yeah.
So now coming back to marriage, oh, you can't work. You just came back. The children are small, so you need to take care of the children. I think that was what broke me the more.
You were stopped from working.
Yes.
Why?
The children were small, they're little, we can't get help, housemaid are bad, so you can't entrust
Your kids.
them. Yes, then you have to you have to do the school runs, you can do the school bus, and he's quite very busy with his business. So his schedule will not allow him to do the school run, you understand? So I have to not work. So for me, it's a mental torture. So it's like, I'm now saying that, so if I don't work, what I went through as a child is going to come back to my children. And for me, taking care of them, not going through what I went through as a child, was more important to me. So I studied while I was in school.
Yes.
So when I was in school, I did 8 years while I was in college. So by the time I graduated, was already my last year plus a year. I was a chartered accountant.
Yes.
So I put all the work in. Do you understand what it's like?
To build your career.
Like when You see your friends in college,
Yes.
go out to play.
Yes.
You go to study.
Yes.
And when the reason why you're doing it is supposed to be that I can say, oh yes, I can reap the fruit of my labor.
Yes.
Now, because of marriage,
Yes.
because of raising children. By the way, the last then was around 3 years old.
Yes.
And the first was 8. The second was 7. So like, because of that, I won't do anything. I have to stand. Okay. So it tortured me more.
So it means that the fact that you have to leave your career to focus on children was not a conversation you both sat down to have and agreed on.
Oh no. So
it was more like you were forced into that.
So yes.
Why didn't you protest?
Oh, I did with everything inside of me. But I got broken at a point because you want peace in the home. Yes. And he now all point out like, it's nothing. Just listen to him. Is he not taking care of you? And now here, if he pays school fees and pays the rent, what else do you want as a woman? Is he not doing his best? So there are other needs that are outside of school fees and rent.
Yes.
So,
like your personal fulfillment.
Exactly. Like what makes me wake up in the morning and feel like I'm human. So then, to the point where you don't have a woman does not have anything or any purpose outside of the husband's purpose. And now to the point where choose one. Do you want to go ahead and chase your purpose, or do you want to pick the marriage? Then I would go to authorities in church that we could see around that time.
Yes.
And there was a council, and they thought it was about money. It wasn't about money. It was about the empowerment.
Yes.
Not just for me.
Yes.
For our children and for him. Because I see that there are times that business are slow. And he would need to get money. And he would have asked outsiders for money. But imagine if I was empowered enough. And this is not that I want to stay home. I studied for this. I want to be out there. My goal as a child was to be the accountant general of the federation.
Really?
Oh yes, that was it. So, and I started the path, and it was as if, when you'll be frustrated to the point that you'll stop. I had a very good boss when I relocated to Nigeria. I wouldn't forget him in my life.
Yeah.
He understood my situation. He was also a Christian, and I told him. He changed my schedule and told me that I can resume after school run and close before pickup.
Okay.
But it wasn't enough. So I now saw it as if it was not just about the children. It was about something wanting to kill my destiny. I might be wrong.
Do you feel, because that's a big statement. So what now? At this point, looking back in retrospect, do you feel he was insecure? Or you feel it was a tradition that he knew about pastor's wife just being there?
I think it's the tradition.
So meaning that he's a good man with bad tradition?
Yes, I'll say that.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, the way the thing played out, it wasn't his intention. If he knew better,
he would have done better.
Oh, he would have done better. And meanwhile, if he had done just 10% more,
yes,
there were other struggles that we had as a couple that I didn't mind. But being out and being able to be empowered was a deal breaker for me.
Wow.
Because I suffered as a child at a point in time.
Yes.
And I didn't want that to go through my children.
Yes.
So when I stopped working, because after a while, the church intervened, people came and they said, just stop. Is it not providing? Is it not this? And some of those church members had been of help at the time that they will give us rice. Give us rice, give us chicken, give us things to feed on.
Is it possible that some of them also were working?
Oh.
They were telling you to just go?
They were working. And wonder the wife was not working was not because she didn't want to work. She didn't get the kind of job she wanted.
So they had their own wives in part, and they were counseling you guys
for peace. And because they believed also that he was okay, because of the level of philanthropic work that he does in the church. So no one would believe that there is
that level of lack at all.
Yes. And I must say, it was at a point that we're together. There were points that, oh, fantastic, like it would do anything to sacrifice when we were initially in the US and it was back home.
Yes.
It would pay everything that we needed.
Yes.
So I guess it got to a point that, as maybe it was growing in ministry, the demand on him became more and he wanted to do more. Because initially it wasn't like that. He would do everything, want the best, do everything, spend everything for us. But as he grew in ministry, I think it was just like the weight became on him that he has to do more for people and that we could understand. So I guess it was the growth that impacted him. And maybe, I'm just thinking, there may be the passion for other people. I can't say, but all I know is, for me, it was bad. I didn't know the meaning of depression until I now discovered that I was depressed at a point in time. And people could see it. And I started getting counseling that you came from United States. Go back to where you came from. That you're not looking like the way when you came. Then the fact that I can't tell anyone.
Yes.
Because
yes,
I can't.
That's the thing with the office.
Yes.
Because
church member will come to me and be giving me their complaint. And I will listen. I'll be like, this person doesn't even know anything. Wisdom, that is all you need. In my mind, like, if I open my own mouth and tell you what we are going through, then some I will just say, I will just cancel, like in the little way I could cancel.
This is one of the problems. Many pastors' wives.
Oh, you can't talk.
You can't talk.
You can't talk.
The role comes with an unspoken oath of silence. And, it looks like, and you know why it is like this? The concept, our approach to ministry in Africa, or as Africans, not just in Africa, because when Africans move outside Africa, they bring Africa to where they are. Our approach to ministry is that we run ministry professionally, not as a lifestyle. So you see a minister whose humanity, it looks like it fell from heaven. Everything must be perfect. And you know why? You know why it's like that? The people.
I agree with you.
The people, many pastors have observed that people don't honor people, that they see their humanity. So they give the people what the people want to see and carry loads of baggage of pretense. And permit me to use that word. And I'm saying this because at certain seasons in my life, I was tired of seeing professional pastors. I want to see human. I want to see people who still laugh, people who still joke. There's this thing. I don't know how to call this concept, where many people just pretend like, we don't even know what's going on in social media. So, how you do it? It's just a way to talk in humanity and look special. Yeah, but so I get what you're saying, really.
Apostle sir, it became unbearable, and one day I was in the house. I was there. So pressure made me stop and canceling people in church. Like, Shebi is just to stop working. You will walk back now. Shebi, he will provide for you. He will this for me. I don't just want him to provide for me. I want to do something
with your life.
Yes. And I feel like if I'm not doing something, there's a lot in me that is dying. Then I'm looking at my children. I want to be a role model to them too.
And this lifestyle you are conforming to, your children won't be inspired by that.
It got to a point, my daughter was asking me, Mom, when are we going to leave this place?
Wow.
Then I said, soon.
Wow.
So we started having issue, pressure. Then I became very hungry. Then every little thing, I would scream, I would shout, I would cry. Why? Because I'm not being allowed to fulfill a part of me. So it's like I'm being suppressed.
Yes.
And the only way that I know how to now express myself is just shout, scream, and cry. So any little thing, anything he says, you didn't let me walk. Everything.
Did you also feel your husband was taken from you by the ministry and the people in church?
I believe that is by choice. Person can manage both ministry, life, and business. I think it's by choice.
You believe that he chose to make it that way?
Yes.
So it means you also concluded that at some point he stopped loving you the way he should?
Yes. And I don't think he realized it.
You feel he just got busy?
Yes. Work, business, ministry.
So you guys never had vacation as a family?
Oh, we did. But it was so, let me say, so plastic arts. When I came back, we tried to do things together to mend it, but it was too far away. So I say 2 weeks, we're going to be okay. I call it microwave love. That's what I used to say. Like, it's very hot, then it just goes cold. So I would say 2 weeks. So when there's a change, I will look at it. I'm going to target it. It's going to be 2 weeks. And after 2 weeks, we're back to where we came from. So we both tried, but I just discovered that I felt I cannot die, not physical death. My potentials, my purpose cannot die because of one person. Yes, that's the way I felt. So along the line, I got tired. Because of ministry, we don't even go to church in the same car.
Why?
He has to sit at the pastor's seat. I'm not a pastor, I'm just a pastor's wife. And I have little children. So I will sit at a different place, at a different wing of the church.
You and your husband were not sitting together in church. Why?
He's a pastor, he has to sit at where the pastor sits.
The pastor's wife is not a pastor?
No. I'm not a pastor.
Till you become a pastor?
I've not seen pastor's wife become pastor like that.
So it means where you were, pastors' wives don't sit with their husbands?
I've seen couples sit with their husband because the day I finally sat at that place, I saw other pastors' wives there that I know were not pastors.
So you both not sitting together, was it his choice or the system?
It was his choice.
Okay. That's a serious one. No?
Okay, why would I say that? Before the pastor stand, it was served at a different wing. The children were little, and we didn't have our help like that because we wanted to.
No children, church?
They were little, and we're very particular about them. We want to hold them. They were back to back at that time, so it was a lot. And my first, she cried when we're not there. So we usually have them with us. So, when you have two toddlers in church, and you have to run after one, carrying one, and all of that. So that also gave me trauma on its own. So it got to a stage, I was tired. Then it got to a stage, he didn't see me. Then it got to a stage, other people saw me. I got to a stage, like one day I was sleeping in the house. My childhood friend walked in and saw me in the afternoon, laying down on the bed and sleeping. And she said, "On fi chartered accountant, so fi sùn lórí bed."
Interpret
Thank God. It says you are using your qualification as a chartered accountant to sleep in the afternoon. Thank God I didn't go through your route. So to me, she said something, but it just reminded me of my sacrifice of wanting to do more and better. And now seeing that I can't cater for the need of my children, I'm now seeing like I'm becoming like my mom. I'm now looking like I need to buy things for my children. I've seen my mom needed to do things for us, and she would not be able to because she wasn't empowered enough. So he broke me so much that I've sacrificed for this. Like I paid the price so that my children will not go through this. And I'm now sitting down and it's like pattern is about to happen again. I then look at myself like, I used to ask my mom, like, okay, Kila, why are you like this? So in my mind, I'm like, if my children ask me, what would I say stop me? I'll say because I want to raise them. And at the end of the day, I'm not raising them. So, I now look at it one day. I'm going to leave. It didn't occur to me to leave. Oh, I thought I could never leave. Yes. So I thought at a point, I thought of committing suicide. At a point, I thought there are other pains that I can't even get myself to talk about right now. So I thought, so one particular day I woke up in the middle of the night, naked, and I was praying to God, that God, kill me if you would not do something. So I would go to all, so instead of me focusing on praying for my children, I was always praying that God, let this marriage be better. The only prayer point is, God, don't let this man this, don't let us have issues. So the only prayer point I had was focused on the marriage. So I neglected the children. I was caring for them, but I neglected carrying them in prayers.
Yes.
So that's why right now I'm passionate about praying for children because I know a lot that prayer can do.
Yes.
So I got pained and I started praying to God that kill me if I'll continue life like this. I can't. Then there was temptation from outside. There were men that liked and would the things that he was not ready to give.
Yes.
They were throwing at me.
You faced that too.
Oh, in Lagos? Yes.
My God.
And will I say I wasn't tempted? Yes, I was.
Okay.
Then I now looked at it like, God, if I'm caught in the act, who will listen that it was pressure that pushed me to it?
Yes.
Things that as a single that I didn't even think of.
Yes.
Then I'm not like, God will not be happy with me doing this. The people will also castigate me for doing this. So why don't I run? And rather die trying to make amends and take care of children than live and conform to a particular way people want me to be. At this time, I didn't have a dime. I had a friend that I'd known from way back as a young girl. Finance. So in my mind, I was going to run away.
With your children?
Yes, with the children. I was so scared. And meanwhile, I went for counseling. I now discovered that we have counselors. That also, they look at the position of the pastor as sacred. It's like, they don't tell them the right thing to do.
Yes.
Or maybe they tell them, and I don't know. The thing is, for me, I think accountability was very little for pastors. I might be wrong.
You're correct. Many is the case. I agree with you 100%.
So people talk to them with caution.
Many will not put themselves in positions where they can be accountable.
That's another
Because
thing.
those they are going to be accountable to might lose faith in them also when they see their humanity. So it's a trait that is sponsored with falsehood. There are very few who are privileged to have leaders who can see their humanity and still respect them. So many, in order not for them not to lose favor from those they look up to, will rather keep their bleeding fingers and pretend. And the entire relationship or accountability is sponsored by lies. That's the web.
I eventually got the courage to run. I didn't have a dime.
You ran.
Yes, I did. I ran. And maybe I'm still running, I don't know. Because since then, I've not returned back. I've not gone back.
You ran, you never divorced.
I ran. Why? My intentions were not to run for a period. I just wanted to to escape. When it got to the point where I started thinking of killing myself, and meanwhile, I will still show up in church.
Wow.
I will still do what I'm expected to do.
And you still dance?
I will still dance. And people will still admire me.
Interesting.
And people will still tell me, oh, you are very fortunate to have
this man.
Yes. I open up, and there are some that believe that me going away was not. You see, the challenge was not it. The fact that going away was another level of challenge that I faced.
Yes.
People calling me and telling me like, you can't leave. God is against you. Yes. God is against divorce. God is against you abandoning your home. You left your home. That kept ringing in my mind, and I have to so each time I go back to God, okay, am I doing the wrong thing? I ran for my life. Yes. Then what I look at it is, I'm going to raise broken children if I continue like this. So and I'm like, I didn't run because of myself alone. I ran for me and these children. I didn't want them to grow up and see their father like that. I want them to have beautiful memories of their dad that will go on vacation together, buy them everything that they wanted. They're growing. My daughter saw some things I didn't want her to continue seeing.
Yeah.
So that was my reason for running. But the judgment for running was way more than the pain of the issue. You are hearing that your issue is not that much. It's not that deep. You just keep praying. Keep praying. Things will change. I prayed. Oh, Jesus. But I wasn't praying with the knowledge that I have right now wasn't the knowledge that I had back
the bed
then.
of hope can be morbid. I get what you say.
Oh, God. There is a Wednesday program in my community then.
Yes.
I will be the first in front. People will take seats for me. I danced, I prayed. I cannot survive a day without actively praying. But what was I praying for? They were all for a marriage to work. That is not the problem. The problem is for both of us to understand our differences and see how we can come in our differences.
But why was it difficult talking this through in the first place?
Because we don't talk.
Oh, now that's a big one. You both stopped communicating.
Yes. It's just the needed communication. Needed communication just needed to. And when I want to talk, I'm already hot, so it's outburst. So when I'm talking, I'm crying, I'm shouting, it's outburst. So it's not like a conversation. Then when I went to marriage counseling, they asked that it's not a one person fix.
Yeah.
It should come. His schedule would never allow it. At a point in time, I thought he didn't think it was serious. So I was saying like, I was the problem.
Wow.
Because I was always talking. Because I got to a point like, any little thing, I'll flare up. Oh, I remember we had an help at that time. Right now, I asked God for mercy for the way I treated that help. Because I discovered that I was always on the edge. So she would do little things. I would snap on her. I was snapping on my children too. Eventually, when I left, the pressure. You have to return. You have to come back. You have to return because we have to keep up a face as a pastors right
Who
now.
was saying that?
Church members, friend of the family. It got to a stage I blocked a lot of people. Then I had to go to God and like, God, do you really want me to return? And there were points in time that even family member, my family, some of them thought it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't that deep. No one can tell another person the depth of their pain.
No one can tell another person the depth of their pain. It's powerful.
So another person not working or not being empowered is okay. They can depend.
Yes.
For me, it's like somebody taking her life out of me. That is being able to being empowered was like life to me. So when that stopped, I stopped living.
Okay.
So for me, I now started looking like, do I want to live or do I want to die? So it got to a stage, I want to live. So in my head, I would rather die trying to live than to conform. So when I ran, I didn't have much. I got help from people. God used them for me. I didn't have, there are times I couldn't afford sanitary towel.
Oh my God.
Oh Jesus, but thank God. So when I left, the pressure from the church, you have to return. God is against what you are doing. God does not like what you are doing. The children will, there is a word that I pray against. Your enemy children will not turn out well because you are not there, because you took them away from their dad. So I'm now like, when I left, immediately I landed, I called and I told like, this is why I left. He was shocked because he didn't believe there was a power, a force inside of me that could be enough for me to run away with 3 children. Because one, how? Where is the finances? How can you train children by yourself? It's not in Nigeria where you can ask people for hands.
Yes.
It's where you have to. But God raised men. Oh, God is wonderful. So why am I saying this? It's for anyone to not believe that He's the end. Just do what you have to do. So far you have a leading from God. I asked God, am I wrong? And He now told me about the zealous daughter.
Yes.
He said, they confront Moses.
Yes.
There was a law that God gave them.
Yes.
Female children don't have inheritance.
Mm-hmm.
That was the example God gave me.
Yes.
So these children in those days were bold enough
to
confront Moses.
Yes.
Moses listened, went to God, and because of just one simple act, God changed a whole law.
Yes.
Because of these children.
Yes.
And God told me, I'm His daughter.
Yes.
As much as He's His son, I'm also His daughter.
Yes.
That is entitled to purpose.
Yes.
Entitled to fulfilling destiny. And the children we're raising, they are also His children.
Yes.
They're entitled to also their destiny.
Yes.
And He told me, for this, I am not a God that will silence and kill 4 destinies just for one to be in office.
Wow.
So that was what I had to run with. So then when I came here, I still went to the branch of the same church because I was used to the church. I didn't find the problem with the word in the church. It's just the people.
You went to the branch of the church?
Yes, I still went there. And and there was always pressure. Oh, she's a pastor. Oh, you can't leave. You can't this.
They got the information.
Oh, it's a large but small church. It's large, but it's
Did you not expect them to get the information?
No, I was not shy about the information.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I wanted to leave. So, and I wasn't shy
Meaning
about
that at
leaving.
some point you overcame the need to be validated.
Oh, yes.
That's a difficult thing to overcome.
With plenty tears, plenty prayer, and the help of the Holy Spirit. I didn't know God as much as I know God right now. So I still suffered. I backslided at some point because I just wanted to have that validation.
Yes.
That a man will see me and understand that I'm a good person. I'm worthy to be wife.
Wow.
So there are points that I did things that I didn't want to do.
Yes.
But there is this arm of God that will always draw you back, no matter how far away you've gone. And God will just bring me back.
Yes.
And the thing that I ran for was from the pulpit. And I discovered that that's where God is drawing me to.
You are around the pulpit now.
Yes, and I love it, and I want to stay in it for the rest of my life.
Amazing.
Yes.
You know, this conversation in itself is countercultural. You know why? Our culture is largely patriarchal. In the sense that I don't want to use the word misogynistic, but if care is not taken, we have a culture where women are not seen and heard, you know, and unfortunately, and you know why I love this conversation? I know this has the capacity to bring opera and other. I'm used to that. Many of the things I do now, I do for the sake of the generations coming behind. My very strong concern about this conversation is that if there are young ministers whose home is already heading towards this direction, because there is the tendency to want to build your home for people whose business is not to even determine things. And so you want to, you're conforming your wife to their taste so you can meet up their expectation of what a pastor's wife should be.
Thank you, sir. There was a point that, we're sending the children to the boarding house. And I'm like, why? It's the boarding house of the ministry. Other pastors did the same.
Are there.
So I'm like, you said, don't work, stay at home because of the children. Now you're taking the children, taking them to boarding house. So what am I going to be doing?
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, no.
Oh, wow.
So I had to like stand my ground, like, and personally, I have a thing against boarding house, nothing to judge anyone.
Yes.
I want to see my children grow. I want to see them take their first step, develop. I want to be there at their through the process. I might not be able to do it perfectly, but be there. So when I'm not like, it's not hard enough. So it's not like we are conforming our lifestyle. And that is not how we started. So it's not like we're conforming our lifestyle to this way is the way we have to be because we are now in the ministry and we have to, our children has to go to the ministry boarding house. They have to go to the ministry university. They have to do everything. And I now discover that I have I think I have a personality of someone that always want to talk. I don't think I'm a normal kind of girl that is quiet.
Yeah.
I discovered that late. So I discovered that.
You discovered that late?
Yes. Yes. So when something, even in anywhere, if something is not going right, I want to talk and I want to challenge that. But no, this is not what should be done. And I discovered that for one, people find you being a woman speaking like that, you're not supposed to be that audacious. So I now discovered that.
That's culture.
Yes. So I discovered that that's part of what impacted us, the culture of you have to conform to something.
Yes.
So it made me realize that there are a lot of children that are suffering because of this.
Yes, you're correct.
There are a lot of families that are suffering because of this.
Yes.
So when I finally found my voice, I thought I had a voice before, but when I finally found my voice the way God wanted me to, I discovered that I can pray even though I can't change. If someone tell me about their story, I'm very compassionate and it moves from my bowel. Why would someone suffer like this? I discovered that money is not the solution. It can only fix it so much. So where I'm empowered to, I can. Then, but where I discover that I can pray.
Yes.
I can pray.
Yes.
I can pray for people.
Yes.
And God listened.
Yes.
So I started praying.
Wow.
So I look at, then I'm a children teacher in my church.
Yes.
It's not something that I wanted to. God directed me there.
Yes.
Along my journey.
Yes.
And I've had children.
Yes.
Of pastors.
Yes.
Confide in me.
Yes.
And it's not always what it's like on the outside. And they will tell me stuff they will generally not tell. Then my daughter will come to me, tell me the pain of those children, because there was time that I faced hostility within the service unit. And I would want to give up. And my daughter will remind me
of the children.
That, boy, if you stop, these children, they like seeing you. Like, so I now thought of it that there are many children in homes where they don't have a choice. And we don't have a lot of people that can do anything. I have the opportunity to run. What if I can't run? What if I didn't get help to run? So what I now translate that is, I pray for children every day. So I pray that God send them help. I pray those children will become like the minister in their home. Yeah. So whenever I have the opportunity, I tell the children that you might be the answer to the issue in your family.
Yes.
That you praying for that you might be the Joseph of your family. Yes. That will save your family. So I pray with children.
Wow.
I pray. That's what I do right now. I pray and I counsel people.
Amazing.
And sometimes the counseling, some people look at it like, oh, it's wrong counsel. But I don't think it's wrong counsel. I don't tell anybody to run.
Yes.
But I just tell everyone, live. Live first.
That's be alive.
Be alive.
Yes.
You can't be a wife if you are not a living person.
And that's one statement people need to pay attention to. Many people die who never lived. Unfortunately, it's what our culture positions us to do. That you may spend your entire life pursuing ends meet, trying to put clothes on, trying to put a roof over your head, trying to meet people's expectations. That you never really lived. Many people can't find themselves. Like they don't even know what they look like. They are merely existing, not living. And you see, as long as the things we do we do them to earn validation from people, you're not living. The culture, life itself, has its own pseudo-Mafian culture. That there are unspoken rules of people whose validation you must earn. And you too will repeat the cycle. That there are people who must earn your validation. So we have people around us who are putting clothes on, but are not living.
Oh yeah.
and that's the crux of this conversation. Their pastor, live, and that be alive, be in touch with reality, with your family. We're not saying be rebellious, but even in submission, be alive, live. And for pastor's wife, that needs to be said much more. One of the first books I read was a book by Omijio. And the title of the book, I don't know if the book is still in print, but I'd like to recommend that book. It was answering questions for pastors' wives. The title of the book is You Can Cry Out. you know. So unfortunately, even in cases where some people, pastor said, I have a mentor, I have someone I'm accountable to. By the time you look at it, you will discover that when it gets to where it gets to about the matters of their life, they prefer that the mentor doesn't know. They prefer that the people should not find out. Because they know that the way they are earning a seat at the table there is the facade.
Yes, we maintained the facade for quite a while. Oh, they just relocated. So people will call, when are you coming back? I blocked some people off. I stopped calling some people. I stopped picking some people up call because of the pressure of, oh, they just went for vacation.
My God.
So I didn't go for vacation. I ran.
You ran.
And the only downside that I would say for me, and I discovered that when I ran was when I discovered there was a lot more to me.
Yes. Did you and your husband, did you both try to talk things over to see if things work again?
We never stopped talking even all through the process. There will be time that I will just shut down because of my mental state. I don't want to keep going ranting. But even when I left, we were still in communication.
Yes. Did you try to make things better?
Yes, but I discovered that there is a point that no one should cross. We get to a point that when you cross, you don't believe anything anymore. So I guess we crossed that point of no matter what is said,
you can't trust it anymore.
I can't trust it. So it was not like, do you want to gamble with your life and try to die? Not a physical death, but like die again, stop living.
I get you.
So I didn't trust anything anymore. Oh, we had a spiritual parent wedding, but I'm just like, it's like you telling me that go back and die.
That's all they were clamoring for.
So like we should make things amen and all of that. But I had people that listened to me and just like, maybe time, like maybe with time. But what I discovered that with time, we grew apart the more. We became distinct, different people.
Till it got to where it is now.
Till it got to where it is now. Now, it's now so much that I would even want there to be a relationship with the children. But they also grew away. And I have to, on their own. And they also, the part that is the mother that influences them is another battle that I face on a daily basis. Till now. People say, oh, are they talking to their father? Oh, you took them away from their father? They are grown now. They have the number. Okay. I have to beg them, call your father.
Maybe for the sake of the sensitivity around the kids, I'd like to, for public consumption, pause the conversation here so that they can be able to make their choices, and they will not at this phase of their life be subjected to public scrutiny, which is not guided really. Your story is your story. What we do on this platform is to hear it, and so that those who are going through similar things will learn, and those who are heading where they should not be headed to will be able to see and can retrace their step. And like I said, I've observed and sometimes even accused that on many things, but I know that in larger cases, not every cases, when it comes to matters like this, women are the receiving end. And I've always told people that a good marriage is not a union between a bird and a fish. It is not an institution that one will have to die for the other to survive. It is not your vision of the marriage. The marriage in the first place is only necessitated because it doesn't kill your vision. So I think that's what people need to understand. That any marriage that you have to, anybody you have to give a yes to, and the vital part of your life will have to die because you've given this person a yes, then it is in the first place, it is a wrong marriage. You should not have to die for it to work. Both of you are heading similar direction, and why it is important. And that's why I want to also advise, and this will go to the both genders. Dear man or dear men, when you meet a woman who is passionate about what she's doing, you are only interested in the first place because you're not ready to kill her passion. If to bring the person home and try to collect that passion is not good. And the same thing for the woman too. If you see that the man is heading this direction, you believe this can work in the first place because you are going that direction too. You know, what you have said today, there are many people who will not be able to comment, will not be able to share, will not be able to like, but they know that this is my life. You see, the effect of stories is not in the number of views. It is in the strategic nature of it to bring people out. I heard everything you said. I have seen again and again people being led towards this direction. I have seen a culture, and unfortunately sometimes we've spiritualized it. That if a woman is active, if a woman is productive, if a woman is excellent, if a woman is goal-oriented, if a woman is vision-driven, then she's everything but a virtuous woman. That's not true. So this is a conversation for the sake of sensitivity around other things. We end this here. Okay, so we'll have a part two, though I've told you about other things. You survived many things. You survived.
Yes, this is just one of the many, many things that...
You alone should give us about 4 episodes.
I survived.
Different aspect of your life. I mean, you shared out how you survived. Something you want to share? The sickness?
Yes, how I survived. Yes, tuberculosis.
I mean, so that's. I mean, that is something I will really want us to talk about.
Oh yeah, sure.
All right, and that's because I'm passionate about health, and because most times, you know, let me say this publicly now. I'm careful. One of the aspects of church that I'm careful about the most is testimonies. And I'll tell you why. Sometimes people share testimony of how God healed them, or how the proclamation or declaration of the man of God got them healed from certain sicknesses, and refuse to mention that they took their medications.
Oh, I took my medication.
So you understand that? So for me, it subjects people who are going through that kind of sickness to an information that is not correct. And many die in the process of trying to replicate testimony. And if you don't get healed supernaturally, if person get healed supernaturally, it looks like something is wrong with you because
you don't have enough faith.
Yes, not even about faith. You are not connected to this house, because if this person is connected to this house, the grace I carry work for this person. So for it not to work for you, you are not connected to this house. All right. All right.
So I want to say this. As for every child, either a male or a female, that no matter what they are going through or they are seeing in the home, they are still very precious to God.
Yes.
God is still their daddy, their father. And that thing that they desire to do, You still want them to do it because in doing it, they are shining the light of their Father, which is God, to the world.
Yes.
What do I have to take to the world is the purpose God has put inside of me.
Yes.
So if that dies, it's like the light of God inside of me
is quenched.
Is quenched.
Yeah, I get you.
So don't give up.
Don't give up.
Just don't conform.
Yes. And I just sense to say this for the judges who are not Deborah's. Deborah was a judge, right? Might be saying, Apostle, are you just going to let this conversation slide like that? I mean, she ran and she's not been back. Well, that's not for public consumption. And how we go about this and how whatever goes on from there, this is the story. So the process is not correct. So I just want to nip that there, because someone might be like, Apostle, so are you now advising that people should run? Obviously not, because that's not even the purpose of the story in the first place. But this is our story. So you make sure you pick the most important lessons from this. And what's the lesson? Don't die in silence. Don't kill that vision. Don't stop living because you want to put on a facade. To yourself, be true. I want to thank you.
Thank you so much, Apostle. I appreciate the privilege.
Choosing. It takes boldness to share your story.
Thank you, sir.
And I've said it again, this kind of story is countercultural. And I respect you for this. And I want to hope that you didn't share this story under duress.
Duress? No. Okay. I've waited for a time like that I would be audacious enough to come to share it. I've shared a bit and piece with people and they were like, oh, you need to share your story. But at that time I wasn't ready. But I just got no, today this is the story I want to share.
Oh my, thank you. And for those who have been watching stories, sometimes people reach out and watching stories from Kenya, from Zimbabwe, from Canada, from America, and all over the place. Usually what we do is that whenever I have the opportunity to be in such places, we try to allow one or two people share their story. And so you might be the next, right, from Kenya or in Kenya. I'll be the next in Cameroon. So, looking forward to hosting you on the stories. I want to thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm very
sharing your story. A lot
privilege.
of people have been liberated through the story. It's one of the most powerful we've heard. We're so grateful. And thank you so much, everyone, for watching stories. And in case you've not done this, you should like, you should subscribe, you should share this, and you should comment. What that does is that it helps the algorithm take this to as many people as possible. And they can also have the opportunity to be blessed by what has blessed you. Don't keep quiet about this. Share with us #stories with AFL, and then we can know what your thoughts are. God bless you so much. Can't wait to see you again on another episode of Stories. God bless you. Bye-bye.
The role of a pastor's wife is a crucial and sensitive call, an office if you might. And just as it is with every calling, there is need for equipping, there's need for the right information, and there is need for training in order to fulfill and make full proof of that ministry. Now allow me to introduce to you these 2 books that is set to put you on the right track, especially on this journey. If you are a pastor's wife or you sense a call of God in that direction, then I highly recommend these 2 books. The first is Behind the Pulpit by Pastor Miracle Femi Lazarus. And the second is Dear Pastor's Wife, a memoir by May Ijisesan. I like to specially recommend these books, especially if you have a call of God on your life in that regard, or you are already a pastor's wife. Click the link being displayed on the screen to have access to these books from wherever you are across the world. It is time to get equipped, to get the right information, and set your life on course to fulfill this sacred call that God has entrusted into your hands. God bless you.